Andy?
What's
I
that?
just I was just filming, so
Oh,
I was,
I'll
just, yeah.
Let's all gather and get quiet and get ready to celebrate a remarkable life. So there's a little bit of seating in the front, and you guys can also come closer and gather. We're gonna have some speakers today. We're gonna have a little singing. And I am my dad's daughter, so if I don't hear it quiet in here quick, we'll send security and we'll be out of here. Yeah. My son would like to say something as we get started. So once again, mute your mouths. Let's see how quiet you all can get. Let's show some respect to my dad today. Dinosaur! I wasn't expecting that, but there is something that my son wanted to say. He really loved watching my dad's jetpack fail video. So, yes, so we're going to see a little bit of that today as well. But to start off this beautiful celebration of life, Danny has a little something to say. This is John Morris's grandson. And start right now. Great job, buddy. Great job.
And it starts for
Thank you all for being here today to celebrate the life of my father, John Stephen Morris. It means so much to our family that each of you took time to come honor him. He was loved by so many colleagues, friends, and fellow visionaries who built, dreamed, and created right alongside of him. I know he would be deeply touched to see each and every one of you here today. It's incredible to stand here today on this very track, a place where this was once just an idea in my dad's mind. What began as a dream, a vision he saw long before anyone else could, became the largest and the longest racetrack in America. He didn't just build asphalt and curbs. Yes, let's give a hand to John. The longest and largest racetrack in America. And he didn't just build asphalt and curbs. He built a community. Through his vision, his relentless work ethic, and his collaboration with others who believed in what he saw. This track is more than a place for racing. It's a living symbol of what's possible when one person dares to dream big and never give up. Not long after my dad passed, a Formula One movie came out, the one starring Brad Pitt. The main character described racing by saying, "I don't drive, I fly. Just for a minute, it's all gone. The sound, the fear, everything. That is the moment that I'm chasing." When I watched that scene, I thought, that is my dad. He wasn't addicted to speed. He was addicted to transcendence. That fleeting moment where everything just disappears, a second of weightlessness, of stillness, of becoming. Whether my dad was flying his plane, piloting a helicopter, racing cars, playing pickleball, or chasing love, my dad was always searching for that moment, that feeling, that sense of flow where everything aligned and he felt alive. My dad didn't do anything halfway. He lived life full throttle, with momentum, with passion, and with adventure. He also had a generous heart. He loved helping people. Whether it was mentoring someone in business, supporting them at the track, or sharing his belief in what was possible, he wanted others to win too. There were times in my childhood and also my adulthood where I wanted more of his time and attention. Still, I know how deeply he loved me. I was given a gift at the end of his life. I got to be with him every day during his final month. I got to care for him and put together a medical team that could treat him with a beautiful beach property overlooking the ocean. I got to hold his hand as he took his last breath. That was one of the greatest honors of my life. My dad wasn't perfect, none of us are, but he was mine, and I love him with all my heart. He lived out loud, true to his nature, and all the way to the finish line. So today, I'm going to celebrate how fully he lived. In the last week of his life, I asked my dad how he was going to let me know he loved me after he was gone. Without hesitation, he said, "I will come to you as a hawk." And that couldn't be more fitting. Hawks are known for their vision, their independence, their precision, and their power in flight. They soar high, focused, fearless, and free. That is who my dad was. So now whenever I see a hawk, I know that he is here, steady, strong, and still, watching over everything he built and everyone he loved. I'd like to ask my sister to come up and sing a song with me. This song reminds me of my dad. Following the song, we're going to have a video tribute that's very focused on his beautiful life and our family. Nearing the end of the program, we're going to share another video that is all of his track family and all of the wonderful times he's had here. So Christy, do you want to join me? Who knows how long I've loved you? You know I love you still. Will I wait a lonely lifetime? If you want me to, I will. For if I ever saw you, I didn't catch your name, but it never really mattered. I would always feel the same. Love you forever and forever. Love you with all my heart. Love you whenever we're together. Love you when we're apart. And when at last I find you, your song will fill the air, singing loud so I can hear you. Make it easy to be near you. All the things you do endear you to me. Oh, you know I will. I will. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And please enjoy this video. I'm not
I love my grandpa.
San Diego Yacht and Boat Show. Good morning, everybody. Hanging out by some yacht. Right now. Making our way back from Mars.
red roses too. I watched them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. See friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. We were trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh somewhere way up high. The dream that you did do, why, oh why can't
Well, thank you all for being here for this very special celebration of John's life. I'm sure he's up there right now looking down at us and saying, why the heck are we making such a big deal? In fact, I think he's trying to rain on our parade, literally. Well, tough luck, John. We're here to make a big deal out of you because that's what you were to so many of us. You know, when I look around the room, you just have to ask people like Dave or Victor or Tina or countless others that have spent the better part of 2 decades here, how much of an impact John had on your life, or the members that call this place home or their home away from home. Monica, Terry, Doug, this is a place that, like a sanctuary. Or the many thousands of students that have passed through here that have created some wonderful memories. I know each of you probably has a story to share about John, and I wish we had time to hear them all, but that would literally take weeks and months. So there's one story that I love that I know some of you have experienced, that being John enjoying trimming the desert bushes out there with helicopter skids at 100 miles an hour. Some of you have that story to tell. But that's really how John lived his life, on the edge, to the fullest, and at the fastest possible speed. There's a saying that I've always liked: life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. And believe me, John contributed to a lot of those for me. So, a little bit of history. Back in 2009, Doug, thank you, Doug, he invited me out here to Spring Mountain. I had no idea this place existed. I had my new Nissan GTR, came out, went on track, enjoyed it, had a great time. Then in the afternoon on Friday, Doug said to me, oh, come take a look at this Radical, this used Radical. This is what you really want to be driving. So somehow he convinced John to let me take that car on track, and that was all it took. I was hooked. Signed up to be a member, bought that Radical that day, And then I don't know how Doug did it, but he convinced me to enter the race the very next day. So, I mean, I'm a rookie, so I started in the back of the pack of the rookie class. And talk about a breathless moment driving my first race. But I came third. Granted, there were only 3 people in the time. So a third is a third. That goes down in the history books as a third. So from that point on, I started to spend more time out here. And John and I, we created a bond. We became much closer. And we realized that we had a lot of things in common. And one of them being aviation. I used to watch John land his plane on the front straightaway of the track, and I thought, that is the coolest thing ever. So I told him about the fact that when I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot, but being the son of Asian parents, your choice was medical school, law school, or business school. Pilot school was not top 10. So I told him about this, and he said, well, why don't you get your license now? And I'm like, no, that ship has sailed. I'm way too old for that. And you know John. He gave me that crinkled look at his face, and he said, no, come on, you can get your license right now. And of course, he got excited about it, and he said, you get your license, I'll let you land on the front straightaway. You and I will be the only 2 that do that. I think, Dave, that's probably it, right?
Oh, yes.
So, that was all the encouragement I needed. So 7 months later, I find myself on final approach to this tiny little pseudo runway that looked a whole lot bigger on the ground than it did from the sky. I thought, oh, hell no, this is not going to be good. 3 times, it took me 3 tries to get it. First two tries, I thought I was literally going to die. But I made it, and, that was how it was to be John Morris, to land on something you should not be landing on and survive. To this day, I'm a licensed pilot. I fly both airplanes and helicopters because of John. And he inspired me in more ways than I can count. His passion, his drive, and his energy were relentless, and he had a strength and enthusiasm that was contagious. I will forever cherish our friendship and be grateful for the countless memories we created together. In closing, we were supposed to perform a solemn and time-honored aerial tribute to John, but he had other plans. I was to be leading a formation of 3 helicopters to perform the Missing Man flyover in honor of him. This aerial salute, if you don't know about it, is one of aviation's most moving traditions. Gesture of respect, remembrance, and farewell to a fellow aviator who has taken their final flight. As the formation would have approached, overhead, one aircraft would have pulled away upwards from the group, climbing towards the heavens. This maneuver would have symbolized the departure of a loved one, while the 2 remaining aircraft continued steadfastly on course, representing those of us who are here to carry forward the memory, spirit, and legacy of the one who has gone on ahead. The Missing Man flyover is more than a display of flight. It is a moment of reverence, a salute from the skies, and a reminder that though one has departed, their presence will forever be felt among those who shared their journey. May God bless you, John, and may He bless all of us whose lives you touched. We shall meet again.
Before I turn it off, Jeffrey? Jeffrey. Johnny.
There we go. Here. Okay. First, I would like to thank all of you for coming out. This way. Hold it. This is not what we originally had planned. Again, as it's been brought up, Johnny had other plans. One of his last visions was this area out here with the casitas and the whole environment over here. So we wanted to do it there. But with this, we came inside, and we're going to make do with what we have. But I do want to thank you all for coming out do want, before I forget, I'll probably forget at the end, to the support that I've had for, you know, my wife and my family, Hayden and Gail, I want to thank them for getting me through. And as John would do, he would make sure that, you know, he, as gracious as he always was, to thank that for Todd, the team, and there's so many people here to thank about putting this whole thing together. And then changing the day, putting it in here. So I want to thank you. To start, it's pretty hard to describe what this man meant to me. I miss him. I miss that smile. He had a fantastic smile. But I will tell you though, my heart is full. And the sadness is really taken away because when I think of him, it's all joy. It's all great. He was all about having fun and having a great time. So, and it's really hard to put 21 years into a few minutes. And we're going to try, I'm actually going to cut this in half because, again, we have everyone standing and we have another video to do. But just a couple things, some of the impressions, the initial impressions, for some of you that may not know, I've been here on this property since 1997. And just to be noted too, I have 6 months on Victor. But we've been here a long time. And again, when you look back to 21 years, the original 2.2 mile track, there were the 2 tents, which are still here, still active, and 4 porta potties. And when John and Jared, Brad, Wendy, when they came in and took on the vision to create something that's really special. And for me, my first impression of Johnny is skip ahead to 2004 when John first came in. I was told, Victor and I were both told that someone was coming in to potentially live at the property and purchase the property. And I thought somebody would be driving in, but next thing you know, here comes a helicopter. Lands, door flips open, and here hops out this guy in a t-shirt, board shorts, and flip-flops. And he came in, he did his business, he went in, and back then, we had 9 Corvettes in the driving school. And as we're going through, he did his meeting, he came out, and essentially my first impression of John was when he finished, he came out and he was walking towards the helicopter to leave. And all of a sudden, he stopped, pivoted, he came over to me. And I was on the skid pad just doing an exercise. And he kind of came up and said, hey, introduced himself. John didn't say anything about who he was, why he was here. Just asked him, like, what are you doing? And we're just doing simple exercise. And he spent like 2-3 minutes. And he was just curious, as John Holmes was. And he just made a point of going, that's really cool. And off he goes, fires it up, and he's gone. And that impression of me, he didn't need to take those 2-3 minutes, but that was him. You know, to come over. And for me, when he flew out of here, the impression is like he didn't have to do that, but he made me feel that what I was doing was important. You know, and then as we move on to the next story, it's about how that vision kind of developed into something else. Because we have a few more than 9 Corvettes here now. The second impression I have of John was when he was a student. He came back, and as they were going through escrow to try and purchase the track, but he came as a student. And this one really was a hard one for Vic and I. Going through the school, and he wanted to know what he was purchasing as part of this, going through the school, and as he was going through, on track, on the exercises, he was stellar. I mean, he was very good, he was very confident, you could tell he had skills. In the classroom, though, this is the hard part, because he would sit, and keep in mind, we're back in the tent. We're just a couple patio chairs, but every classroom session that we had for debriefing, he'd sit there with his arms crossed up and down the ground. And skipping ahead here, for Vic and I, we're trying to figure out, we want to make this a real impression on him. so you guys would buy the track, because we really wanted you guys here. And he's not enjoying himself. He's fine. But the whole thing is, we're going through a 3-day program. At the end of the program, going up to him, you're kind of questioning him as to, hey, you had a good time. And all of a sudden, something's switching. Is I had a great time. and all of a sudden, it was completely different that he had such a great time. And what the difference was in starting to learn about him, when he wasn't present with us. When he was sitting there looking at the ground, we thought he was not enjoying himself. He's trying to figure out what he's going to build. He was so far ahead with his vision, So that was the first thing about learning John, is that, okay, you really gotta get in his head. You fast forward to June 15th, 2004, when this became Spring Mountain. And things happened quickly. And back then, 193 acres, the 2 tents and 4 clocks, that's all that's here. But very quickly, soon after escrow closed, and literally, trucks and trailers showed up, stores were down, raffles were out. With those raffles and pointing out some of the people here, I'm just really moved with all of you that are here, but the originals, Kenny, Bob, Mark, Glenn, Craig Oka, who am I missing? Bob, yeah. Dick Tweedy. And these are people that bought radicals before Spring Mountain. So that's why I'm kind of trying to highlight that. They bought radicals and started buying into this vision on this car way before. Soon after the escrow closed, originally he wanted the track, but the Corvette school came with it. And just real quick too with this one, we had 9 old beat-up Corvettes, and this learning how the kind of takes a little bit. We had when he sat down and asked me just a simple question: "What do you see as your vision for this driving school?" Which he really knew nothing about. He was just impressing upon us as to what we could develop here. And we had something pretty special that we wanted to. At that time, Chevrolet had left, went to a different school, and I knew we could get them back. As we went through some of the discussions and some of the visions with the program, he just really quickly got up and said, "Okay, go buy 10 Corvettes." And I was like, "What?" But again, there's a real simple decision for him: go buy new cars so we can start something. And on today, we have 300 Corvettes sitting on site. So, and just his vision. I mean, we've purchased probably 2,000 Corvettes over the years. It's really kind of crazy. And as the next thing for him was the membership, starting a membership, coming out here, and got on a plane, flew into Texas, got far at North Sports Ranch, really the first motorsport country club. Again, he learned, he took it in, and on the way back, we're going to start a country club. And today, with the vision of all of you guys, all of you standing here, this is what John wanted to create right here. Everybody coming in here, racing, driving, enjoying their cars, and I think just sharing passion that he really had. And I really thank you for all for coming. Skip this one here. Like I said, for Johnny, he's gone, and I really do have a hard time comprehending the fact that he is not here anymore, but he is. He is, I mean, everywhere you go on this property, this fingerprints, you see them, whether it's in the racquetball court, pickleball court, the lake. John's energy will forever be present here. That candle will never die. So, anyways, in closing, I just want to thank you for being a part of this story, part of John. For John, I know, let's live his passion, let's embrace the moment, and let's make something proud.
was amazing. Wow, it is really meaningful to see all of you here today to celebrate Johnny. That's what I call him too. I call him Johnny. And I've known him all my life. He officially joined the family when he married my mom, Kara, when I was 5. And I burst into tears when I found out I wasn't able to attend the wedding because my dreams of being a flower girl were crushed. But I'm sure John joked me out of it with his big grin and his dimples flashing and his bright blue eyes all lit up, as we all have mentioned. I've lost all my notes. There we go. I wanted to share a few family stories that show not just the fun we had, but the kind of person he was. We all knew John had the best ideas for fun, and he always went the extra mile if it meant that he got to go fast, and if he got to buy fun toys, and that he kept us all happy. So his need for speed started early, much earlier than me, but I remember him driving us 3 kids down to his parents' house on a 2-lane road. And I was reading a book and I looked up and saw the speedometer at 110 miles an hour, and I started yelling that I was telling Mom. And he just laughed and, went on with his business. So he loved flying, obviously. He never complained about flying me from San Diego to Burbank to drop me off at my dad's for the weekend. Time in the plane, done. In fact, he was convinced, or maybe my mom convinced him, to fly my wedding dress in the helicopter from California to Colorado so it wouldn't get wrinkled. It probably was his idea because it was any excuse to fly the helicopter. In our younger years, John was often on the road. He was building J. Williams, and he always called to check in. Usually got food. He had a serious sweet tooth, so we wanted to make sure he kept his red wines and his Skittles stocked in his motorhome. But even though he was gone, a lot of in those early years, he was teaching us incredible lessons about resilience and focus. Another great family memory was our big trip to Disney World. We did a cruise and stayed at one of the Disney properties afterwards. And I have no idea about any memories of the theme park, but what I remember is us 3 kids running wild on these motorized boats in one of the lakes, having the time of our lives. I was terrified that we were going to get in trouble because of how expensive it was, but looking back as a parent now myself, he was probably thrilled that we were off playing so he and Mom can enjoy some few moments of peace. During his final week, the steady stream of love from his friends reminded us just of how many lives he touched. Friends stopping by, the calls pouring in, and each one was so lovely to hear. So my sister insisted that I listen to a message from Ari Strauss. Dave came over to hold the phone near John so we could all hear it again. And Ari's words perfectly captured the essence of John. He called him a joy maker, someone responsible for creating special memories for so many people. Joy maker. Yes, he was over the top most of the time. How about sending a singing banana for a birthday telegram? How about hiring a helicopter to take me and my friends up and down the Las Vegas Strip for one of my teenage birthdays? Jumping in the motorhome to take me and my friends up and down the Rose Parade route on New Year's Eve so we could meet cute boys. He threw my mom a surprise party on her 43rd birthday for no reason that anyone could figure out. Her friends were terrified that she had some mysterious illness, but John just thought it would be fun. He loved surprising and delighting people. He was also a connector, as we all know. He understood people. He could look right into your heart and somehow know your personality, where you fit, who you might get along with, and how to bring you into his orbit. He was an amazing matchmaker. Sometimes it worked, sometimes not so much. I remember being a freshman in high school and hearing the house phone ring and walking into the bedroom to find John talking to my high school crush. He called about our French homework, and I'm waving frantically, mouthing stop talking. And no, John offered him a job. I was horrified, and also I was thrilled. Got to see him every day for like 3 years. He was also deeply empathetic. That same boy later borrowed John's RX-7 for prom and wrapped it around a lamppost going 60 miles an hour. The first words out of John's mouth were, "Are you okay?" And they were, but I never saw him mad about that car. And while John's wild stories and joy-making energy are what everyone remembers, I want to share a little bit about what I learned from him. He was the master of the pivot, when things weren't looking good, he switched perspectives and moved in another direction. He made plenty of mistakes, but he learned from them faster than anyone I know. He lived and breathed business. He vibrated with energy. He was always chasing the next big idea, and every one of our dinner table conversations turned into a business meeting, and I loved it. He taught me that business and life aren't about playing it safe. They're about staying curious, finding solutions, and never being afraid to start over. His version of success took grit, humor, and the stubborn optimism that said, okay, that didn't work, what's next? I'm so grateful that my children, Sammy and Griffin, John's grandchildren, got to know him. Time with Grandpa John was always an adventure. It wasn't full-time unless he blew up at least 10 floats so that the kids could play leapfrog across the water, or he'd drag us all to the track for fireworks just because it would be fun. That was John, always adding that little extra joy and a little extra sparkle. And sweet Danny, who's now out of here, but he takes after John so much with his love for speed, and it's in the genes. Because that was John, a joy maker, a big dreamer, a fast driver, a fearless pilot, and a soft heart behind the quick bed. So he taught us to live fully, love fiercely, and always, always find the fun. So here's to John, the ultimate joy maker. Thank you for filling our lives with so much love, laughter, and adventure.
So a few weeks ago, Assemblyman Gregory Hafen from the Nevada Assembly reached out to me and said, hey Tim, I'm supposed to present this proclamation you see over there at John's Celebration of Life. But unfortunately, I'm going to be at a special session, so I won't be able to. Would you do so in my stead? And I had the opportunity to work, I've known John for years and had the opportunity prior to his passing to assist him with a project that's near and dear to his heart. So I said, sure, and I'd be honored to do that. What he didn't tell me is how cold it was going to be, how many people were going to show up, and what the dress code was. So I got all of them wrong. But nonetheless, it's a privilege for me to present this proclamation. Proclamation. Whereas John S. Morris answered the call to serve his country during the Vietnam War as a proud member of the United States Army, demonstrating courage, resilience, and deep patriotism in the face of great adversity. Qualities that would go on to define his remarkable life and career. And whereas, a native of Pasadena, California, John brought bold ideas and a fearless entrepreneurial spirit to everything he did, from his early success in sales to the founding of groundbreaking businesses. J. Williams Enterprises Incorporated in 1985 and Advanced Access in 1998, alongside his then-wife Jera, ventures that helped usher in a new era of real estate marketing and software development across the nation. Whereas, fueled by a deep love for innovation and speed, John turned his passion for motorsports into a bold new adventure, launching Radical West Incorporated in 2003, becoming a leading distributor of radical extreme sports cars, and in 2004, together with his business partner Brad Rambo, acquired a 2.2 racetrack and 4 porta potties in the Nevada desert, known today as the world-class Spring Mountain Motor Resorts and Country Club. And whereas, through John's unparalleled determination and vision, Spring Mountain grew to encompass over 930 acres, boasting the longest road course in North America, more than 50 track configurations, luxury residences, and an ever-expanding array of amenities designed to create a resort experience unlike any other. And whereas John Morris envisioned and built not just a racetrack, but a paradise in the desert, where families, racers, and thrill seekers from all around the world came to experience high-speed camaraderie, competition, and recreation. And whereas, a true adventurer and iconoclast in the spirit of Richard Branson, John lived life full throttle. Whether by flying his Robinson R-44 helicopter, racing radical sports cars, or designing desert playgrounds, he brought creativity and excellence to everything he touched. And whereas John's legacy includes his entrepreneurial accomplishment, but also the many lives he enriched through his friendship, leadership, and mentorship. And whereas he is lovingly remembered by his ex-wife and business partner, Jera, his daughters, Katie and Christy, and his cherished grandchildren, Danny, Samantha, and Griffin, along with countless friends, colleagues, and admirers whose lives were forever moved by his extraordinary presence. Now therefore be it proclaimed that Nevadans are requested to honor the life and legacy of John S. Morris, a visionary entrepreneur, decorated veteran, and pioneering force in motorsports. And be it further proclaimed that John S. Morris' remarkable contributions to the world of business and racing shall live on through the passion he sparked in others, the enduring impact of Spring Mountain Motor Resort and Country Club, and the countless lives he uplifted through his generosity and fearless pursuit of what others thought impossible. Dated the 17th day of May, 2025, Gregory T. Haken, Minority Floor Leader, Nevada State Assembly.
Staff Sergeant. Staff Sergeant. Staff Sergeant. Can you guys come up here?
My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway. More, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and yes, it was my way.
Those beautiful videos were put together by Todd Fletcher and his incredible marketing team. Thank you so much. So, wow, what a beautiful group. Thank you all so much for coming. I know that if John were here, he'd be saying, okay, wrap it up. It's been a long time. Here we are. It means so much to our family to see you gathered here to honor John, a man who lived boldly, dreamed big, and never did anything halfway. If John had a motto, it might have been 2 words: watch this. Those words summed him up perfectly. Daring, confident, and just a bit mischievous. Whether he was trying something new, building something big, or John was my business partner, my co-adventurer, and for many years, my husband. But more than that, he was my friend. Our lives were filled with projects, passion, and purpose. The titles may have changed over the years, but the connection, the love, and the respect never did. You could feel John's energy the moment you met him. He was a force, whether pitching a new idea, racing a car, or flying a helicopter. He did everything with vision, intensity, and that unmistakable twinkle in his eye. And by the way, you never have to wonder where you stood with John, for better or for worse, as many here can attest. He was honest, direct, and completely authentic. Together, we built J. Williams Enterprises and later Advanced Access, companies that began around our kitchen table. The kids were a part of it too, working, learning, laughing, crying, in good times and in bad, and there were a lot of both, believe me. And watching firsthand what it meant to build something from nothing. When it came time to start Racetrack, we knew we needed partners who shared John's vision and drive. No one was better suited than my beautiful sister Wendy and her husband and my brother-in-law, Brad Rambo, and he's not terrible to look at either. Two incredible business builders who helped bring John's biggest ideas to life. Together, we formed a partnership built on trust, perseverance, and family, 21 years strong. And speaking of partners, I want to take a moment to thank Brad. He stepped up in every way after John's passing, with strength, integrity, and heart. The team of leaders John assembled, led by our beloved Dave Petrie, CEO, we can't say enough about Dave, are second to none, and they continue to honor his vision every day. Thank you so much to all these leaders for your hard work and commitment. Knowing that Spring Mountain's future is in such capable hands brings us so much peace. As John immersed himself in the motorsports world, he found more than a new business. He found a community. John absolutely loved Spring Mountain. Some of his closest friendships were made here, as you've heard, and who were people with smart, talented, and believed in the dream as much as he did. These friendships became the backbone of his success and the heart of everything that followed. John didn't just teach people business. He showed them, by example, what belief and determination could create. But life wasn't only about the wins. In 2001, just before his 21st birthday, John's beloved son Danny passed away, a heartbreak that changed everything. From that unimaginable loss came a new resolve to live with urgency, adventure, and meaning. That moment redefined him. And in typical John fashion, he turned tragedy into purpose. That spirit led him straight into his next great chapter, motorsports. When John first looked out over 193 acres of land in Pahrump, he didn't see just a small driving school with porta potties and pop-up buildings. He saw potential. He saw a world-class racetrack, a community, and a dream waiting to be built. And then, watch this, he went out and built it. Today, that vision stands before us here. Spring Mountain Motor Resort and Country Club, 930 acres, 9 miles of track, and a living, breathing legacy to his imagination and drive. Beyond all his accomplishments, John took great pride in his family. Katie and Christy meant the world to him. And he was incredibly proud of being strong, capable women they've become. He loved Katie deeply. That bond was something special. And I will forever be grateful for the love and influence that he had in Christy's life. His presence, guidance, and warmth shaped her in ways that would stay with her forever. And his grandkids, Samantha, Griffin, and Danny, brought him the kind of joy that always managed to break through that tough, all-business exterior. Being a dad wasn't always easy natural for John, but he brought his trademark energy, humor, and larger-than-life personality to it, just the same. His fathering style was sometimes unconventional. As a young man, if any young man who came into our family, a friend, a co-worker, or heaven forbid a boyfriend, was immediately enrolled in the unofficial family Olympics without warning. Suddenly, the unsuspecting young man would find himself in a fitness gym with push-ups, planks, and backflip contests. It was John's signature background check, always delivered with a grin and a little watch this showmanship. And then there's a story that will go forever down in family history, the one about John and the ice cream truck. It was a beautiful afternoon. John was enjoying a nap when that magical jingle of the ice cream truck started winding down the street. The kids and I flew out the door, and then, emerging from the house, was John, still half asleep, running full tilt in nothing but his underwear. We stopped dead, both horrified and hysterical, whispering from the curb, "John, you don't have any pants on. Go back inside. We'll bring you your treat." But John just gave us a totally confident, unbothered hand wave and said, "I want to pick out my own ice cream." That was John, a man who valued self-determination over social convention, utterly himself, even when standing on a street in his underwear, demanding a bicycle. He lived exactly as he loved, unapologetically, wholeheartedly, and in the moment. So today, as we celebrate him, I stand here with deep gratitude for the dreams we built, the risks we took, the heartbreaks we survived, and the love we shared. There's truly been no one who's had a greater influence on my life than John was. The way he loved, dreamed, built, and believed in what was possible changed the course of my life forever. His race may be finished, but his story keeps running strong in every dream he built, every risk he took, and every laugh he left behind. And if there's one thing John taught us, it's this: always choose what you want in life, and make darn sure you go out and pick your own ice cream. So wherever he is now, I'm sure he's still grinning, turning back one last time to say, "Don't worry about me, watch this." Thank you.
Thank you, Jared, for that. Thank you, everybody. Just a quick little housekeeping. We're going to retire number 76. And also something about John, the pickleball tournament. We are going to be stubborn and go ahead with it anyway. So if there's too much rain, we'll just enjoy each other. Okay? I'd like to go ahead and invite you all to join me in a toast. There's lots of things to say about John. I think one is that he left a lasting impression. And you are all here as proof. To John. Let's party.
Excuse me, everyone. We have lanterns in the back there. If you want to write a message to John and put it in a lake, it's up to you. Feel free to take it with you.